Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we will be discussing what we have not done in the previous video. This particular video also deals with the Keynes theory of investment multiplier. This is a part 2 segment. So for those who haven't watched the part 1 of this topic, please go and watch the topic and come back to this, because that is very much important to make you understand the topic better. So I will be providing the link of the same and in the description box, so you can use that and you can watch that video. We have already discussed the concept of investment multiplier. We have discussed the derivation of investment multiplier. We have discussed the importance and leakages of leakages from investment multiplier, and also we have discussed the influence of price level in the case of investment multiplier. So having discussed all these things, we will be looking at several other things in this video. Having said so, we will be looking at the theory of investment multiplier here, a more detailed explanation. So before starting, let me give you an intro of myself. I am working as the head in charge of Department of Economics in one of the reputed government aided colleges which come under University of Kerala. I'm a PhD holder, and also I have secured first rank in both BA as well as MA Economics. I have qualified for UGC NET thrice and also UGC JRF twice in economics. Now, coming to the importance of the concept of investment multiplier, we have seen that investment multiplier is a concept put forward by Keynes. Although the concept of multiplier has been introduced into the arena of economics by Kahn, what he had done is that he had introduced the concept of employment multiplier, but Keynes has borrowed the term multiplier from Kahn, and he has what he has done is that he has used this concept in order to explain the investment multiplier. So we know that multiplier is one of the important concepts developed by Keynes when it comes to investment multiplier. So this is mainly done to explain the determination of income and employment in an economy. Okay, now the theory of multiplier has been used to explain the cumulative upward and downward swings of trade cycles that occur in a free enterprise capitalist economy. We know that the theory of investment multiplier put forward by Keynes says that how initial level of autonomous investment will induce a multiplier effect upon income. This is what the concept of investment multiplier means, right? Now, when the investment in an economy rises, what happens is that it has a multiple and cumulative effect on the national income output as well as employment. As a result, what happens is that economy would experience a rapid upward movement. There would be growth, there would be development, etc. So, on the other hand, what we could see is that when due to several reasons, especially due to adverse change in expectations and all with respect to business class, investment would fall, right? Then when investment falls, what happens is that backward working of the multiplier would be acting there, and this would cause a multiple and cumulative fall in income, output and employment. And as a result, what happens here is that the economy would rapidly move on a downswing of the trade cycle. So you have to understand how this concept of multiplier works, directly, indirectly, inversely and all. So the different kinds of movements should be understood. Just understand how the initial level of investment is creating some influence upon the creation of income. So how the size of the multiplier is influencing the growth of the economy, how the size of the multiplier is influencing the employment rate in the economy, how the size of the multiplier is influencing the income and output in the economy. Thus, Keynesian theory of multiplier helps a good deal in explaining the movements of trade cycles, or we can say it explains the fluctuations in the economy or economic fluctuations. Now, the theory of multiplier has also a great practical importance. So this has got a great deal of practical importance, especially when it comes to fiscal policy. When I say fiscal policy, it is a policy pursued by the government. So when in the case of depression and all, in the scenario of depression and all, government has to do a lot of investment. So in this scenario, the concept of multiplier has a great role to play, and this is mainly to achieve the level of or to this is mainly to achieve the state of full employment, right? So during the time of depression, in order to get rid of the negative impact of depression and to remove unemployment situations in an economy, the government in whichever country, we are not concerned about that, in whichever country it may be, the government in that particular country would be acting in such a manner that it would be undertaking a lot of investment in public works. So this is what the main argument of Keynes. Keynes says that when during the time of depression and all, when the private investment fails to work, then what happens is that the government should undertake certain investment in the economy in order to boost what? Income, employment and output. Okay, but it was thought that the increase in income would be limited to the amount of investment undertaken by the public works. But public works is enhanced when it is realized that the total effect on income, output and employment as a result of some initial investment has a multiplier effect. As a result, Keynes has recommended that the government investment in public works to solve the problem of depression and unemployment should be there. So this is what Keynes has done. Keynes always stood for the government intervention, and he says that the public investment in public works such as road building, construction of hospitals, irrigation facilities, so all these should be needed in order to raise aggregate demand in the economy. The concept of aggregate demand has already been explained in the Keynes theory of income, output and employment. If you haven't watched that video, I have done a video on that. So this is for your information. If you haven't watched that video, I'll be providing the link in the description box. You can use that and watch the video, and that is very much important. You know, before I'll let me remind you one thing. If you are not clear with the concept of Keynesian theory of income, output and employment determination, it is very much important you go and watch some video. If you want my video to be watched, then you can use that, or you can watch some other video as well. As this is your choice. You have to be clear anyway. You have to be clear with the concept of the Keynesian theory of income, output and employment. Then only you can understand the concept of investment multiplier. So before trying to understand the concept of investment multiplier, please go and watch the video, or please go and read something on the Keynesian theory of income, output and employment determination. Okay, then you can come back to investment multiplier concept. Now, the public investment in public areas or such as the road building, hospitals, etc. Will raise aggregate demand by a multiple amount. This is what is argued by Keynes. And the multiplier increase in income and demand will encourage increase in private investment. So, if you have the main problem is with initial investment. Who will undertake initial investment during the type of depression and all? Especially the the marginal propensity to consume is less, the marginal efficiency of capital is less. Then who will undertake investment? So in such a scenario, so even though you reduce this interest rate below a particular level, or interest rate remains constant at a lower level, no private individual would undertake investment, because during depression the marginal efficiency of capital is very less. So in this scenario, the government should come forward and make some investment in order to raise income, and when there is an increase in income, private individuals would also benefit out of this income, and they will be having more income with them. And in the second round, what happens is that even private investment would come. So this is what says that the initial level of investment, which is autonomous, would create some income. This will create induced investment in the next level, which is private investment. Okay, so thus the deficiency in private investment, which leads to a state of depression and underemployment equilibrium, will now be made up, and the state of full employment would be restored out. Okay, now if the multiplier has not worked, what happens? what will happen is that the income and demand would have risen as a result of some public investment, but not as much as they rise with the multiplier effect. Inspired by the Keynesian theory of multiplier, expansionary fiscal policy of increase in government expenditure and reduction in income tax have been adopted by President John F. Kennedy and President George Bush in the United States of America to remove the involuntary unemployment and depression. Okay, this had a great success in removing the unemployment situation, and also this could deal with the problem of depression, and therefore the Keynesian theory of multiplier was considered to be one of the important solutions, okay, to the problem of depression and underemployment equilibrium or unemployment equilibrium which was experienced during the time of depression. Okay. Now, coming to certain numerical problems that you can use, or you can expect these kinds of problems in your examination. So you can, it's better for you to work out all these kinds of problems. So it would be helping you to score more in the examination. So, so the first question is that I'll be providing you with 2 questions with solutions. So the first question is that suppose the level of autonomous investment in economy is 200 crores and the consumption function of the economy is C is equal to 80 plus 0.75y. So there are 2 questions asked with respect to this kind of information given here. The first question is that what will be the equilibrium level of income? And the second question is that what would be the increase in national income if the investment increases by rupees 25 crores? So here is a solution. So the first question was that the equilibrium level of income, right? So in this case, we know that y is equal to c plus i. That is, your income would be spent upon your consumption and investment. So these are the 2 motives that you are, these are the 2 uses for which your income would be used, that is consumption and investment, right? So C is given and it is taken from the question, that is C is equal to 80 plus 0.75, right? And I is equal to 200 crores. So these are the 2 things given, and we have taken these 2 things from the question and just substitute the values for C and I in the equation. C is equal to y plus I. Y is equal to c plus I. In this, by substituting, you will be getting y is equal to 80 plus 0.75k plus 200. So here, just leave it. Just take it as just take it. Okay, just take it as it is. Then from this, you can here it is 0.75 y, right? It's mistakenly written as k. Okay, from that you can take that y minus 0.75y, just take the y elements to the right hand side. Then you can see the remaining portions is 80 plus 200, which is equal to 280, right? So that is y minus 0.75y, that is equal to 0.25y is equal to 280. From this you find out y, you find out y, that is equal to y is equal to 280 into 100 by 25. 0.25 is written as 100 by 25, which is equal to 1120. Okay. So, which is known as the equilibrium level of income. Since we have taken the amount in terms of crores, the income equilibrium level of income is equal to 1120 crores. Now we have to deal with the second question, that is how much increase in income will occur as a result of increase in investment by 25 crores, and this would depend upon the size of your multiplier, and the size of the multiplier is determined by the value of your marginal propensity to consume. And in the consumption function, we know that C is equal to 80 plus 0.75 y, it's written as f, sorry, it is y. Here the marginal propensity to consume is 0.75, MPC is equal to 0.75. So we know that C is equal to 80 plus 0.75 y. here there is an element of autonomous consumption plus induced consumption, right? So plus marginal propensity to consume is also given, so which is equal to 0.75, that is equal to 3 by 4, and thus multiplier would be what? 1 by 1 minus MPC. That's the formula of multiplier, which is 1 by 1 minus 3 by 4, 1 by 1 minus 3 by 4, which is equal to 4, right? Thus the increase in investment by 225 rupees crores, national income would rise by 25 into 4, that is equal to 100, which is 100 crores. Okay, so here is problem number 2. So I'll be providing 2 examples. So this is the second question. Suppose in a country the investment increased by rupees 100 crore and the consumption is given by C is equal to 10 plus 0.6 y. We know that C is equal to consumption and Y is the income, and how much increase would take place in income. So this is a question and solution is written here. We know that K multiplier is equal to delta Y by delta I. Delta Y stands for change in your income and delta I means change in investment, and delta Y is equal to K into delta I, which is K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC, right? And here MPC is given, that is 0.6. So just substitute here K is equal to 1 by 1 minus 0.6, which is 1 by 0.4, which is equal to 2.5. So substituting the value K is equal to 2.5 and delta I is equal to 100 in the above equation, you can see that delta Y is equal to 2.5 into 100, which is 250. Thus you can see that increase in investment by rupees 100 crore will lead to increase in income by 250 crore. So just take another problem and solution. So what increase in investment needed to raise the income by rupees 4,000 crores is MPC is 0.75. So how much will there be increase in consumption, saving, and due to the increase in income? So here we have to understand how much increase in investment is required to raise income by rupees 4,000 crores, and this depends upon the value of the multiplier and the size of the multiplier, and which depends on the marginal propensity to consume. We know that multiplier K is equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC, which is 1 by 1 minus 0.75, which is equal to 1 by 0.25, which is 4, right? And K, which is multiplier, is equal to delta Y by delta I. Delta I from this equation we can see as delta Y by K, and just by substituting the value of delta Y and K in the above equation, we can understand delta I, which is 4,000 by 4 equal to 1,000, and investment would rise by rupees 1,000 crore in order to achieve 400 crore increase in your income. Okay, so that's all. Just understand the related topic which is known as the paradox of thrift. So this is considered to be an interesting topic after understanding the concept of or the theory of income output and employment determination of Keynes, and also the theory of investment multiplier. So after watching these two, or after understanding these two concepts, you can come to the theory or the concept of paradox of thrift. Okay, and paradox, there is considered to be an interesting paradox which arises when you can see that all the people in a society try to save more, but in fact they are unable to do so, right? So in this case you can see that the multiplier theory of Keynes helps a good deal with explaining this kind of paradox. Just assume a situation when all the people in society try to save more, but in fact they are unable to do so. They want to save more, but they are not able to do that. So as per the paradox of thrift, what happens is that the attempt by people as a whole to save more for hard times such as impending period of recession, unemployment, etc. So this would not materialize, and in their attempt to save more, the society in fact may not end up with same savings. Okay, but not only this, but also in the process of attempt to save more, this would cause the consumption or standard of living of these people to decline, because they are not using their income for, they are not using that much income, the needed income for consumption, because they are attempting to save. So in this case, in this case of thrift, what is understood is that thrift is considered to be a virtue in most of the societies, and this is regarded as an act of prudence on part of individual to save for a rainy day. That means that, so they are expecting some kind of bad times in the future. Since they are expecting some kind of bad times in the future, they are saving in order to meet the financial emergencies during the future. Okay, so that is so it is out of this expectation that they are saving. And as per a proverb we know that a penny saved is a penny earned, right? But according to classical economy, savings determine investment, which plays a very important role in accelerating the rate of economic growth in the economy, right? So, or economic growth in, or economic development, or rate of growth in economy, okay, or rate of development in economy. So, but you can see that the paradox of thrift, it shows that the efforts to save more, especially during the times of depression or recession or bad times or whatever it may be, this would actually deepen the economic crisis, and this would cause employment to go out of the state. That means there would be unemployment situation, and also there would be a reduction in your output. Okay, so this will so these kinds of situations and or questions or problems are understood by Keynes, and what he has done is that he goes to the credit of Keynes, that it was his theory of multiplier which was able to solve the issue of the paradox of thrift. Now, as per Keynesian theory, a penny saved is a penny gained or a penny earned. This is quite inappropriate, especially for an economy which is working in the situation of underemployment equilibrium. So here there would be some kind of recession or depression in the economy, and what Keynes has done is that he has showed that if all the people in the society decide to save, that too, if they go for more savings, that will actually lead to reduction in consumption, and if there is reduction in consumption, or there would be reduction in aggregate demand which will lead to further worsening of the situation. And this is because, according to Keynes, the effort to save more by all the people in society will lower the aggregate demand, and this will lead to reduction in your national income. So this would further worsen the situation. At the lower level of national income, the savings will definitely fall to the original level, but consumption will be less than before what it was. Okay, so this would worsen the situation. So if you look at the figure, you will see that SS is a saving curve, and the slope of the curve would be equal to 0.5, and LL is a planned investment curve. Okay, and you can see that it is horizontal, right? And it will be seen that saving and investment curves both intersect at point E, and this would determine the equilibrium level of income, which is equal to K. Okay, and which is 300 crores. Okay, so this point is Y1, and now suppose that you are expecting a hard time, and in the future, or if you are expecting a hard time ahead, all the people in the economy would save more by the amount of rupees 50 crores, and this would cause an autonomous downward shift of your consumption, and which is shown by the downward shift of your consumption function, and this would bring about an upward shift of rupees 50 crores or EA in the saving function, and this will lead the saving function to go up. That is indicated by a shift in the saving function from SS to S dash S dash, and this saving function would cut the new saving function would, that is S dash S dash, would cut the planned investment curve II. So at point E2, the planned investment curve is cut at point E2, and as per this a new equilibrium level is new equilibrium level is got, which is known as E2, right? So if you draw a perpendicular to below, you will be getting the equilibrium level of income, which is Y2, which is 200 crores. Earlier it was 300 crores, now it is 200 crores. And it's important to note that the level of income does not drop by the amount 50 crores, but by the extent of reduction in consumption due to the more saving, but a multiple of it. Right, it is not by the amount of 50 it is reducing, but it is some double kind of reduction is reduction in income is happening. Now, just understand the marginal propensity to save, which is we know that marginal propensity to consume is 0.5. As a result, the marginal propensity to save is also the same, and here it is considered to be the so just understand the value of multiplier. That is, the value of multiplier here is 1 by 1 minus 1 by 1 by MPS, which is equal to 1 by 1 minus 1 by, 1 by MPS means 1 by 1 by 2, which is equal to 2, and here the decline in consumption is due to more savings, and this would cause multiplier to work in the reverse order. Okay, so just understand that your investment has reduced, and as a result there would be some reverse mechanism working, and this is and here what happens is the multiplier would operate to reduce the amount of consumption and income by a magnified amount. And the decline in consumption expenditure of people by rupees 50 crore in the first instance, we just remember in the initially there was a decline in the consumption expenditure by 50 crores, and due to more savings by them implies that producers, sellers of goods and services will find their income to fall by 50 crores, but the reverse process will not stop here. This is not the end. And given the marginal propensity to consume, which is equal to 0.5, the producers and sellers of goods in turn would spend rupees 25 crores less, which they will find their income has fallen by rupees 50 crores. But if you look at the figure, you will see that process of reduction in your income will continue till a new saving is reached, and this saving should be equal to your investment at lower level of income Y2, which we know that it is 200 crores, and the level of income is declined by 100 crores, which is 50 into 2. It's a multiple, right? When your consumption falls by 50, your income had fallen by 100, and so this has happened. Initially it was 300 crores, your income was 300, now it is only 200. Thus, attempt by all the people to save more has led to decline in your equilibrium level of income, income reduced from 300 to 200. And what happens here, with the decrease in planned saving by 50 crores, every level of income and saving function shift upward, and your saving function would shift upward, because your saving is increasing and also but your income is falling because your MPC is coming down, right? And this sets the motion the operation of the multiplier in the reverse order, as such you could see in the figure. And it is important to observe that the saving, which has risen to Y1A, has once again fallen to the original level 100 crores, and this is, you can see that there is a reduction in consumption expenditure inducing the working of multiplier in the reverse order. And you can see that the increase in your saving by 50 crores has led to your fall in your income by 100 crores. This is because of the multiplier effect, which is here the multiplier is 2. This explains the paradoxical feature of the economy gripped by the recession, and this is paradoxical because in the attempt to save more, people have caused a decline in their income and consumption with no increase in the saving of the society at all. So we can see that the planned investment here is fixed, just assume that, and that is determined by some external factors. So this is extraneous or just outside the model. Now, in other words, you could see that the investment has been assumed to be autonomous of income, and that is, it does not vary with your income. Okay, now just try to answer the question, can we avoid the paradox of thrift? The paradox of thrift actually holds good when a free market economy is in the grip of recession or depression or bad times and investment demand is inadequate due to the lack of profit opportunities. However, it has been pointed out by many economists that the paradox of thrift, this can be avoided if the extra savings that the people do for a rainy day are somehow channeled into additional investment through financial markets. Indeed, the classical economists argue that the increase in supply of saving would lead to a fall in the rate of interest rates, which would induce increase in planned investment. Just understand this from the speaker. If this kind of things happens, then our saving investment diagram, the investment curve II would shift up to I dash, and as you could see in the case of figure, the new equilibrium situation would be reached and the new equilibrium income may not fall, and therefore the paradox of thrift is averted. Initially, the saving curve, we know that it is S1, and the investment curve is II. This intersect at a point E1, and as a result from this you can determine the equilibrium level of income, which is Y1. Now, if the people or the society is expecting difficult times ahead, then they will have tendency to save more. Okay, and this is to the extent of EIA, and if these extra savings for reasons mentioned above result in more investment, the investment curve will shift to I dash, the new equilibrium would be reached at point A, and as correspondingly you would be getting the new level of income. And in this way the paradox of thrift had been averted. However, according to modern economists, especially the followers of Keynes and all, the empirical evidence does not support the above argument of averting the paradox of thrift. So, as per their argument, this is mainly because at the times of depression or recession or bad times, the prospective yields from the investment are very much small, and as a result, there is no possibility for reduction in the rate of interest, and this will induce a sufficient increase in investment, right? So even if your interest rate comes down very low, that you cannot predict that there will be an increase in investment during bad times or depression or recession or whatever it may be. As a result, according to them, in a free market and a private enterprise economy, without government intervention, paradox of thrift cannot be avoided. Of course, the government intervention during present day predominantly we could see that the private enterprise economy of USA and Great Britain. So in these economies, it is seen that the extra savings of the people are mobilized and these are used for investments, and this can happen because the government undertakes investment especially mainly due to the motivation of profit. So they are motivated by profit motive, and they want to promote social interest, and also they are aiming for economic growth. And it is because of all these things the role of government has some importance in our economy, and it has been greatly increased for overcoming the problems such as recession, depression, etc., especially in the capitalist economies. So just understand the Keynesian explanation of Great Depression and also the impact of multiplier on the same. So during 1930s, we know that the world was gripped, especially the capitalist economies were gripped in the clutches of Great Depression. And here, when there is Great Depression, that means that there is unemployment situation, there is no aggregate demand increasing, there is no output increase. So it was considered to be a dull state, and also the economy was growing downward. So that was a situation of depression, and the classical economists attributed to this kind of unemployment and depression situation to higher wage rates maintained by the trade unions and also by the government. But the explanation did not prove valid. So it was Keynes who radically departed from the classical school of thought and the classical explanations, and also not only this, he had his own explanations, and he viewed the context of depression in a larger context, and he understood that large decline in investment that caused depression and substantial increase in unemployment situation in the economy was mainly due to lack of government intervention, and it was his suggestion that made the government to make some kind of interventions to come out of the state of depression. So as per Keynes, the investment was a highly volatile matter, and it was a drastic decline in the if you have a if you have a drastic decline, so before that I would like to remind you that when the concept of investment was understood by the classical school of thought, they always consider that it is a function of interest rate. They haven't touched upon any other factors. But when Keynes came, Keynes says that investment is a function of interest rate. Definitely is a function, but there is some other factor which influence interest rate, which is known as the marginal efficiency of capital. So even if your interest rate comes down to a lower level, that doesn't mean that you are making a lot of investment, especially during the times of recession or depression. So what factor is pulling you back is that the marginal efficiency of capital. During the time of depression and all, the marginal efficiency of capital is very low. Marginal efficiency of capital means that the prospect yield from your capital. So you are expecting a less yield from your capital during the future date. So you are very much pessimistic to make any kind of investment. So you are pulling yourself back from making some kind of investment. As a result, you won't make any kind of investment, especially during this recession or depression. So in this case, it's very much important for the government to make some kind of investment. So in this case, the multiplier effect would be working. Okay, that's it. So just take a case of example how the multiplier effects work on the reverse manner. So during the times of the first 4 years of depression in the USA, unemployment was 3.2%, and this had increased to 25%, and you could see that 1 out of 4 in the labor force in the US, they became unemployed, and the level of national income dropped from $315 billion in 1929 to $222 billion in 1933. So this is calculated at 1972 prices. Okay, so a huge decline in national income happened, and also the emergence of unemployment in many other industrialist capitalist countries happened, especially during this Great Depression period. And it was assumed to begin with 1929 when the aggregate demand curve C plus 12 intersects. Just assume, okay, C plus 12 intersects 45-degree line at point H and determines equilibrium level of full employment, which is potential. Here the potential output is OY1. Just see the figure, it explains the same. Here a sharp decline in investment by the amount HT is due to the fall in profitability of investment following a crash in the stock market in 1929 and other unfortunate or unfavorable events caused a downward shift in the aggregate demand curve to C plus I. Okay, here this new aggregate demand curve C plus I, it intersects the 45-degree C plus I1. Okay, it intersects the 45-degree line at point E, and you will hear from this intersection point you will be determining the equilibrium level of income, which is OY1, and which is considered to be less than your full employment income, OYF, and which represent a state of depression and also large unemployment situation in the economy. The important point made by Keynes here is that income would not fall merely equal to the decline in investment, but this would be a multiple of it. Okay, in fact, during the period of depression, especially in the 1930s, this actually happened, and it is evident from table here. That I have not provided the table. It was which deals with the empirical evidence and all. Just understand from the figure that the decline in the national income YF-Y1, this is not equal to the fall in the investment by HT, but it is a multiple of it. You know that you could understand from the figure that YF-Y1 is twice that of HT. So this is due to the working of the multiplier in the reverse order. So the reverse mechanism works here. Further, note that after taking into all leakages in the multiplier, we have already discussed the leakages of the multiplier in the previous video, or the part 1 video where I have done with the multiplier effect. So where I have started the concept of multiplier. If you haven't watched that video, please go and watch. There have been many leakages from the multiplier effect, like taxation, imports, etc. So if you haven't watched, please watch and try to understand how certain parameters influence or multiplier and act as leakages with respect to multiplier. So as a result of several leakages in the multiplier process, it has been assumed that the marginal propensity to consume, which was equal to 0.5, would yield the multiplier 2, and this is why fall in income y1 is twice the decline in investment by 2. Okay, now just understand some of the historical evidence, and this shows that various components of aggregate demand of the US economy changes in so this would change net exports and the government expenditure were very much small, and this mostly offset each other during the period of 1929-30, and drastic drop in private investment was one of the another important problem, and then there was a reduction in the aggregate expenditure, and also you could see that the leakages in the multiplier process was also there, and there was a sharp decline in the investment. As a result there was a sharp decline in your income as well. As a result, you could see that the multiplier effect here from the new figures given here, we have calculated the multiplier effect, that or the size of the multiplier. This is 1.96. Now, Keynesian theory of income determination, it provides a fairly accurate explanation of the first 4 years of Great Depression. This looks rather simple, but during 1930s it was not understood well. Now you could understand it as simple, but that time it was not so. Okay, so only after Keynesian prescription and his offering of solution that helped us to come out of the state of the Great Depression. Now, an important result of the success of Keynesian model was that fiscal policy was an important instrument for controlling the business cycle from which came into prominence. Further, it now became clear that government intervention through adoption of appropriate fiscal and monetary policies can avoid collapse of economy, such as what happened during the 1930s. Now, try to understand the limitations of the working of Keynesian theory of multiplier. We have two different views. One is the old view, and the secondly we have a modern view. Just understand the old view now. Here in the early 50s, an eminent Indian scholar or economist, Dr. V.K.R. Rao and many others, they have explained how this concept of multiplier worked in developing economies like India. Okay, they say that these economists say that India, in the case of India or other developing economies, Keynesian multiplier did not work in the real terms. That it does not operate to increase income or employment in a multiple count. Okay, so these group of people, they claim that the concept of investment multiplier was valid only in the context of capitalist industrialist economies like UK or USA, and because these economies have got some excess productive capacity and a large number of open involuntary unemployment. He argued that in such a situation, the depressed economy, there was high elastic supply of output to the changes in demand for them. As a result, in developed capitalist economies, these economies, investment would be leading to a successive round of consumption expenditure, and this would raise aggregate demand. And due to existence of large excess capacity and involuntary unemployment under conditions of depression, aggregate supply of output is highly elastic, and the increase in aggregate demand brings about increase in real income, output, employment, which is a multiple of the original increase in investment. So, on the other hand, if you look at the underdeveloped economies, you could see that there was no excess capacity in consumer goods industries, and therefore supply of output would be inelastic. Therefore, when there is injection of investment as a result of successive rounds of operation of multiplier, aggregate demand of consumer goods increases, and this would result in rise in money income, but there would not be an increase in the real national income. The second condition as per Rao is that for working of multiplier in raising national income and employment, and this was not the supply of raw materials, financial capital must be sufficiently elastic so that when the aggregate demand increases as a result of multiplier effect of increase in investment, the supply of output could be increased adequately to meet the higher demand for goods and services. As per the for underdeveloped economies, due to underdevelopment of the nature of these kinds of economies, there was actual scarcity of raw materials, right? And also intermediate goods such as steel, cement, etc. put great struggles for the working of multiplier when it comes to real terms. And in real terms, there should be involuntary and open unemployment so that the aggregate demand for goods increases. The consequence of new investment, the aggregate supply of workers must be forthcoming to be employed in the production process of various industries. So in short, we could see that in the developed economy it would work, but in developing economy it is very difficult to work. Now, so from the Keynesian assumption, the working of multiplier in real terms, it follows that the supply of output in goods is elastic due to existence of large excess capacity. Supply of raw materials and other intermediate goods can be adequately increased. There exists involuntary unemployment, workers searching for work, and sufficiently elastic agricultural output. In view of earlier economists, these assumptions for realizing the multiplier effect in terms of rise in real income and employment were not valid in case of underdeveloped economies. Now coming to the modern view, there have been a lot of economists like Dasgupta, Rao, explaining the one part of the theory. But the case of present day developing economies, there have been many changes, right? And there have been a lot of economic growth, structural transformation, etc. happening in the economy. So the present state of the Indian economy and many other developing economies, we could see that just consider the present state. In this case, a Keynesian multiplier is not applicable in the real terms. However, it may be noted that the 50s, 60s, during these times, the view of the Keynesian multiplier did not work under the underdeveloped economies, and this did not go entirely unchallenged. So just taking the example of some people who have commented, so it could be stated that the multiplier can operate in underdeveloped economy when it is associated with a carefully designed pattern of investment, and the theory that the multiplier works in backward economy only with reference to the money income based on static assumption, and therefore it's not correct. So coming to the role of agriculture and multipliers, how multiplier is influencing the agriculture sector. You can see that the argument of non-operation of multiplier in underdeveloped economies was so partly based on the inelastic nature of supply of agricultural output, especially the food grains, as it was pointed out that a large part of monetary demand or money income generated by investment would be spent on the food grains. And also we know that underdeveloped economies or developing economies or economies like India, these are mainly depending upon the agriculture sector, right? A large number of people are employed in the agriculture sector. In India, we know that 60% of the people are employed in the agriculture sector. Now, inability to meet the rise of demand for food grains would cause a rise in price level and inflation in the economy, and this would not increase the real output, but initially it would be increasing the inflation level in the economy. And this, as a result, it is pointed out that expansion of irrigation facilities, food grain production, with many technologies, food grain production can be increased, but there is a gap, right? There is a lag. In the Indian economy today, there have been large number of involuntary unemployed workers crying out for employment. This is what we could see. And as a result, the failure of the multiplier to work in real terms no longer holds good in the present economic situation. So just to conclude, we could see that the present economic situation in the Indian economy, we know that excess capacity in some consumer good industries are present, a large potential for expanding agriculture production happening. Increase in investment would produce a real multiplier effect without causing inflationary pressure on the economy. So multiplier effect of new investment can further be increased if investment package is quite diversified, covering a large number of industries. Further, you could see that even when there is no pre-existing excess capacity in industries, increase in investment leads to increase in demand for consumption, which in turn would lead to rise in investment to meet the consumption demand. The effect of increase in consumption demand on expansion or investment is generally referred to as accelerator, and this will be dealt in the next video, the concept of accelerator. Indeed, the combined working of accelerator and multiplier, what is it? It is known as a super multiplier. This will lead to marginal increase in output and take place in growth process in the developing economies like India. So the concept of multiplier and so the concept of accelerator and super multiplier would be dealt in the coming videos. With that, we end this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe this channel for more videos. You are very much welcome to my Telegram group and Telegram channel to discuss your doubts and clarify the same. Thank you.